I buried my wife. Those are words you never imagine saying out loud. You hear them in movies, in passing conversations, in other people's lives. You assume they belong to someone else, someone older, someone unlucky, someone far away from your own reality. I thought I had time. I was wrong. For most of my life, I believed the same lie almost everyone believes, that love is permanent, that tomorrow is guaranteed, that the people who matter most will still be there once things slow down. I didn't neglect my wife in obvious ways. That's the cruel part. I didn't abandon her. I didn't stop loving her. I didn't choose someone else or walk away. I just kept postponing conversations, postponing trips, postponing long walks, quiet mornings, unhurried dinners, postponing presence. I told myself I was being responsible. I was working, providing, planning for the future we would enjoy later. Later never came. When she died, it wasn't dramatic. No long warning, no final speech where everything gets said and resolved. Just a normal stretch of days. And then a phone call that split my life into before and after. One moment I was a husband, the next I was a widower, and suddenly all the things I thought were urgent didn't matter at all. The meetings, the deadlines, the stress I carried home every night. None of it followed me to the cemetery. What followed me were memories and regrets. I replay moments constantly now, not the big ones, but the small ones. The ordinary evenings I half listened while checking my phone. The times she wanted to talk and I said, "Can we do this later?" The weekends I was physically present but mentally elsewhere. I loved her deeply, and that's what makes the pain sharper. Love alone isn't what hurts. It's realizing how often love was put on hold. You don't understand how permanent death is until it happens to someone you planned your future with. Until you realize there is no fixing it. No explaining later. No making up for lost time. Time doesn't pause because you meant well. I used to think grief would be loud, overwhelming, dramatic. Sometimes it is, but more often it's quiet. It's reaching for your phone to tell them something and remembering you can't. It's seeing something they would have loved and having nowhere to send it. It's sitting in a house that still smells like them and realizing the future you imagined together has vanished. Here's the part no one tells you. The regrets don't come from the fights, or the hard seasons, or even the mistakes. They come from the moments you could have been present and chose not to be. I don't regret working hard. I regret working distracted. I don't regret having responsibilities. I regret letting them take precedence over connection. I assumed love was patient, that it would wait. Death is not patient. If you're listening to this and you're in a relationship, married, partnered, or even just deeply connected to someone, I need you to hear this clearly. You are borrowing time, not owning it, not saving it, borrowing it. And the bill comes due without warning. We tell ourselves we'll slow down after this project, after this phase, after things settle. They don't. Life keeps demanding more. And if you don't decide what matters, everything else will decide for you. I thought I was doing the right thing, building a secure future, being dependable, being strong. Now I would trade every ounce of that security for one more ordinary day with her, one more boring conversation, one more quiet meal, one more chance to listen without rushing. I used to think love was about big gestures, anniversaries, vacations, milestones. Now I know it's about attention, undivided, unrushed, unconditional attention. And that's what I rationed, thinking we had plenty of time left. The most painful realization after she died wasn't that I loved her. It was that I could have loved her better. I could have been softer, more present, more available. I didn't think the small moments mattered that much. They mattered the most. If you're waiting for the right time to prioritize the people you love, I promise you, there is no right time coming. There is only now, and now is fragile. I don't say this to scare you. I say it because I wish someone had scared me. I wish someone had grabbed me years ago and said, "Put the phone down, stay at the table, listen longer, hold their hand, don't rush through this." Because one day, the chance disappears. And when it does, you don't just lose the person, you lose every version of the future you imagined with them. If this is stirring something in you, don't ignore it. Don't minimize it. Leave a comment and tell me one thing you're going to stop postponing with the person you love. After my wife died, people told me time would heal me. They meant well. People always do. But time doesn't heal what time itself destroyed. What time does is teach you, slowly, painfully, and without mercy, what actually mattered and what never did. Grief is not just sadness, it's education, a brutal one. You learn how fragile everything is, how temporary, how much you assumed without realizing it, how many moments you treated like they were reusable. They're not. When you lose someone you love, the world doesn't stop. That's one of the most shocking parts. Everything keeps moving as if nothing happened. Cars drive by, emails arrive, people complain about trivial things, and you're standing there thinking, how can any of this still be important? In the early days after she died, I was numb. People checked in, brought food, spoke softly. Then, slowly, they went back to their lives. You don't blame them. You just realize something quietly devastating. Your loss is permanent. Their concern is temporary. And that's when the loneliness really begins. Not the loneliness of being alone, but the loneliness of carrying something no one else can feel. Grief sharpens your memory, not in the way you want. You don't just remember the good times, you remember the missed ones, the half-present ones, the moments you rushed through. I remembered how often I said, "I'm tired," how often I said, "Not tonight," how often I thought love would wait while I handled everything else. I didn't understand then that love doesn't wait, it responds to attention. Grief teaches you that love is not measured by intention, it's measured by presence. You can mean well your entire life and still fail the people you love if you're not there when it counts. I used to think providing was enough, that being reliable, consistent, and stable was the highest form of love. It's not. Those things matter, but they don't replace emotional availability. You can give someone everything except yourself and still leave them lonely. I see it everywhere now. Couples sitting across from each other, both staring at screens. Families together, but disconnected. Conversations reduced to logistics. We call it normal. It's not. It's dangerous. Because one day, one of you won't be there anymore, and the silence will be unbearable. After my wife died, I noticed how many things I wanted to tell her. Little things, nothing urgent, just thoughts, observations, feelings. They had nowhere to go. That's when it hit me. Most of love happens in the small exchanges we think we can postpone. The big conversations are rare, the daily ones are constant, and those are the ones you lose forever. Grief also teaches you something uncomfortable about time. Time is not equal. 1 year with someone you're fully present with can mean more than 10 years of distracted coexistence. I had years with my wife. I wish I had been with her more during them. That realization doesn't fade. You don't move on from it. You learn to live alongside it. There's a particular kind of pain that comes from knowing you can't go back. Not to fix something broken, but to appreciate something whole. That's what I mourn most. Not just her absence, but my former blindness. I used to believe love was resilient, that it could survive neglect, distraction, postponement. Love is resilient, but connection isn't indestructible. It requires maintenance, and maintenance requires time. Time you think you don't have. Let me tell you something clearly, especially if you're listening to this while telling yourself you're busy for a good reason. No reason is good enough to repeatedly neglect the people you love. Not work, not stress, not ambition, not exhaustion. Because none of those things will sit with you at night when they're gone. You will, alone, with your reasons. After loss, your priorities rearrange themselves whether you want them to or not. Suddenly, being right doesn't matter. Winning arguments doesn't matter. Being impressive doesn't matter. What matters is whether you said what needed to be said while you could. I replay arguments now and realize how pointless they were, how small, how ego-driven. I wish I had chosen peace more often. I wish I had listened instead of defending myself. I wish I had apologized faster. I wish I had been softer. Grief makes you realize how much energy you wasted protecting your pride. Pride is expensive. It costs you connection. Another thing grief teaches you is that people grieve differently, and that's okay. Some people cry, some go quiet, some keep busy, some fall apart later. There is no correct timeline, but there is one universal truth. Grief never fully leaves. It changes shape, but it stays. And the version of you that exists after loss is not the same version that came before. You don't return to normal. You become someone new, someone who notices things differently, someone who feels time more sharply, someone who understands that every goodbye could be the last. I say I love you now like it matters, because it does. I don't end conversations casually anymore. I don't assume there will be another chance, because there might not be. That awareness is painful, but it's also clarifying. It strips life down to what's real. If you're listening to this and thinking, this won't happen to me anytime soon, I thought that too. Loss doesn't schedule itself around your readiness. It doesn't care about your plans. It arrives when it arrives. And when it does, the only thing you'll want is more time, and you can't have it. So take it now. Take the time now. Sit longer. Listen more carefully. Ask better questions. Be curious about the person you love instead of assuming you already know them. People change, even the ones closest to you. If you don't keep showing up, you miss who they're becoming. And one day, you'll realize you never really knew the final version of them. That thought still keeps me awake some nights. I don't tell you this to drown you in fear. I tell you this because love deserves urgency, not panic. Urgency. The urgency of presence. The urgency of attention. The urgency of choosing people over distractions. If you still have someone to love, you are incredibly rich, even if you don't feel like it. Don't measure your life by what you're building. Measure it by who you're building it with, and whether you're actually there with them. If this is making you think differently about how you're spending your time, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment and say one thing you're going to do differently starting today. After my wife died, I kept thinking about all the warnings I never received. Not because no one tried, but because I wouldn't have listened anyway. That's the cruel truth. We only truly understand loss after it teaches us personally. Before that, it's theoretical, abstract, something that happens to other people. Now I understand it in my bones. So this is not advice, this is a confession. And if you're listening while you still have someone you love beside you, I want you to hear what I wish I had understood sooner. Love is not something you fit into your life. It is your life. Everything else is secondary, even if it feels urgent right now. When my wife was alive, I believed there would always be another normal day, another chance to say something kind, another evening to slow down. I treated ordinary moments like they were endless. They weren't. The day she died, nothing extraordinary happened beforehand. No warning signs, no final, meaningful conversation where everything was resolved. Just an unfinished day. That's how it usually happens. You don't get closure. You don't get a final chance to be better. You don't get to go back and fix the tone of your voice or the way you rushed past a moment that mattered. You live with how you showed up. That's it. If I could go back, I wouldn't try to be perfect. I wouldn't try to be endlessly patient or wise. I would try to be available. Available emotionally, available mentally, available without one foot already out the door. Presence is the greatest gift you can give someone, and the easiest one to withhold without noticing. I thought love meant staying loyal, staying committed, staying together. It does, but it also means staying attentive. I wish I had listened more without interrupting. I wish I had asked how she was really feeling instead of assuming I already knew. I wish I had noticed when she needed comfort instead of solutions. I loved her. She knew that. But love expressed late feels unfinished. That's the part that hurts the most. Grief doesn't just come from missing someone. It comes from realizing you didn't fully meet the moment while you were in it. I used to think I was doing enough effort, enough care, enough love. After loss, enough feels like a dangerous word. Not because you should exhaust yourself trying to be everything, but because you should never stop being present while convincing yourself you'll make it up later. Later is a lie we tell ourselves to feel safe. Here's what I know now. The people you love don't need the best version of you someday. They need the real version of you now. Tired, imperfect, distracted, but trying. Trying counts. Showing up counts. Small moments matter far more than big promises. I remember the nights I stayed up late working while she went to bed alone. I told myself it was temporary. I remember the times I said, after this week, or once things calm down. Things never calm down on their own. You calm them down by choosing differently. I also learned something hard about regret. Regret doesn't scream at first. It whispers. It shows up quietly when you're alone, when there's no one left to impress, when there's nothing to distract you. And it asks one question over and over. Why didn't you choose differently when you could? I carry that question now. I've learned to live with it, but I wouldn't wish it on anyone. If you still have your partner, your spouse, the person you share your life with, please don't wait for a wake-up call. Don't wait for illness. Don't wait for loss. Don't wait for tragedy to rearrange your priorities. Tragedy is an expensive teacher. You can learn the lesson without paying the price. Put your phone down more often. End conversations with kindness. Say what you feel before it becomes a regret. Apologize faster. Forgive sooner. Sit closer. Hold their hand even when nothing is wrong, especially when nothing is wrong. Because one day, everything will be different, and you won't get to choose when that happens. I don't tell this story because I want sympathy. I tell it because love deserves urgency. Not fear-driven urgency, heart-driven urgency. The kind that says, this moment matters. The kind that treats today like the gift it is, not like a rehearsal for a future that isn't guaranteed. If I could speak to my past self, I wouldn't tell him to work less or achieve less. I would tell him to notice more. Notice the person sitting beside you. Notice how fleeting ordinary days are. Notice how love is built in attention, not intention. I buried my wife, and with her, I buried the illusion that I had unlimited time. If this touched something in you, don't scroll past it. Leave a comment and tell me one thing you're going to do differently with the person you love, starting today. Share this with someone who still has time. because once it's gone, it doesn't come back. Thank you for watching this video. Click here to watch another video that might interest you.